When it comes to building slideshows for schools, the homework load is normally, it seems like a lot. And sometimes you need to build it for a seminar, or you just have to build a 10-minute slideshow to talk about something yourself, right? In these cases, I feel like the max amount of time you should be spending on building a slideshow should probably not be over 2 hours if it's anything that's not a seminar. And today I will be going over the steps I do when I build a slideshow. So in total, I have 5 steps that I do. So step 1 I will be talking about is choosing a template and how that's really important to nail. The second step that I will be talking about is using AI to plan to fit the criteria of what you're given. My third step that I'll be talking about is writing my paragraphs and just kind of brain dumping everything I have. And then the fourth step is how to format it properly from paragraphs into bullet points. And then the fifth step is just some like tips and tricks on picking images from online if you're using that. And at the very end, I have some bonus tricks as well that I've kind of came across through use cases and through using this over and over, like different steps, and also some tips and tricks I've come across online. So without further ado, let's dive into step 1, which is choosing a template. So if you are just kind of building a slide and you don't want something that's really high end, such as a lot of smooth, like really fancy transitions, or building your own theme, right? Which these things you can do on Microsoft PowerPoint. I feel like if you're going for something just more basic and you just want a nice presentation, right? And a quick and an efficient one, I think SlidesGo is your best friend to go to. That's the one I go to. That's the one a lot of people go to. And if you're not using SlidesGo and you're not using this resource, I think you should it's really urgent for you to switch on to this new sort of resource that's been given to you. So let's go over an example of a slideshow and how I'll be choosing the theme first. So let's say we're in a class where we have to do the conceptual framework of action presentation. So of course, as you can see here, it deals with ethics or morality. So you have to find some sort of issue that deals with this. So for the sake of this video, we'll just choose designer babies. So whether it is ethical to gene edit your child from birth. Right, so that is what we're going for here. So now if we go into SlidesGo, we can see that we need to choose a template from a lot of templates that are already given to you. So what we can do first is we can search up some keywords, right? Let's see if there's any made already for designer babies. So let's go ahead, but designer babies. You see things such as newborn care center, placental abnormalities in pregnancy. See, this one doesn't really fit what we're going for, and then these ones are more like children, baby race, nothing that to do with us. So now we have to kind of think outside the box here of what will fit. So in this case, we can talk about gene editing because it's kind of like the same thing. And you can see that a lot of people have built a lot of these themes already online, right, for gene editing, and there's many good ones to choose from. I can already see from here. The ones with the crowns are obviously premium, so we can't have it unless you pay. So I like this one. So we will download it onto a lot of different things you can do, Google Slides, PowerPoint. I don't know the other one, but I will go ahead and choose Google Slides because I think it's easy to work with and it's easy to share it with other people's Google accounts. So we can go with Google Slides. So perfectly, you have got the theme in about 2 minutes at most. If you're looking through the different ones that you want, if you're really nitpicking, it might take like 5 minutes, right? So right now we're at about 5 minutes, we've unlocked the template. A really good thing about having the set template for you that's relevant to your topic is that you don't have to go online to find a lot of images now, because a lot of your slides won't look dry, right? There's already stuff on it. Like as you can see here, there's like that helix shape. It's nice. If you look here, right, this slide has a nice design that we can use later if we talk about different bullet points, things like that, infographics, things like that, and images like here of people. And they all really fit like the theme we're going for, and it looks pleasing. So that is step 1 done. So now we're ready for step 2, which is planning by using AI and resources such as ChatGPT. So let's go right back to the criteria that we have. So as you can see up here, we have the conceptual framework of action presentation, right? Let's take a deeper look into this. So it says that we need some sort of reliable resource, right? So we need to do research on these reliable resources. And then the main thing, right, that we're gonna get marked on is our information, which really nicely the teacher has laid out for us that we need to cover right here. Okay, a lot of the times back in grade 9, 10, when I started building slideshows, even sometimes now, I get super lazy and I don't plan out my slideshow. So I kind of know questions I need to answer, and I kind of just don't have some scaffolding, so I'm just laying bricks of slides up against each other. And in the end, it becomes kind of wonky and bad because some slides don't really pair with the next slide, and overall it's not cohesive, doesn't look nice, there's no flow to it, right? So I'll show you really quickly how to build a really good plan, and this will save you a lot of time. So what you want to do is just go ahead and just highlight this whole document. If it was a PDF, you can just download it, right? And you can just import it straight into ChatGPT or an AI. So right here, what can I help you with? Well, today I want you to help me with okay, so now that we have put the prompt in here, as you can see, so prepare at least right here. So we want to like an overview and a plan of how many slides I should have for each question, and also like the table of content, right? We don't want to miss any questions, obviously, that's a lot of marks gone. So by doing this, we consolidate our plan and we know that we're getting all the marks because we're getting all the questions down. Okay, so right here, it gives us the table of contents and it tells you 2 slides for that, right? And as you can see here, slide 1, slide 2, and then it shows you what slide 3 and 4 is about, slide 5 and 10. It shows you every single slide and what it should cover. Slide 11 and 12 should be about the church's position, as like the teacher has mentioned in the criteria plan. It's pulled it out, right? It's extracted that information, it's giving it to us in our plan. And then you can see totally it has 15 slides, right? So right now, I think this is perfect, right? Because the criteria was also like not a super long slideshow. So 15 slides is perfect. If you need to make this longer, you can tailor it to expanding. You can give it some prompts on how can I expand this longer. If I want to expand just about the church's position and I want 4 slides here, how should I do it? And what should I cover? What should be the different fields I cover, right? So it's not the same thing you're saying over and over and over. So if you want to tailor this to your personal sort of ideas, you can definitely do that as well. But right now I'm just gonna be super duper lazy and I'm just gonna copy this whole plan down, right? So right here, and then we can put it into our document. So now we have our plan. We know what we're doing, right? This has cut a lot of time because we don't have to really like put in a lot of time and effort and thinking into what we should cover in each slideshow. It's already made for us. Perfect. Okay, perfect. So now we are on okay, perfect. So now we're on to step 3, which is writing our paragraphs and just brain dumping ideas in. Okay, so let's go back to our slideshow. So imagine we are now on to slide 5. I'll just show you guys how I do things and how I put information into a slideshow. So if we're on slide 5 and it's talking about who is the agent of designer babies, I am going to be honest. First of all, my first idea is, what does the word agent even mean here? I don't get it, right? Okay, yeah, this is just hard at spelling. I don't get it. Okay, so what you can do here is really just use the resource of AI to help you and just to reach knowledge that will take you some time to figure out. So first of all, we're talking about designer babies, right? So designer babies. So what we can do is build a prompt to ask the AI so we can really understand what the word agents means. So in terms of designer babies and building a slideshow what does the word agent even mean here? I don't get it. Perfect. So you can just put this into AI, right? And we'll see the answer it gives us. Great question, Angus. Okay, so this AI remembers me because I turned memory on, which is a whole new discussion. So, as you can see here, the AI gives you an answer instantly, right? It says that an agent is a person, group, or institution that takes moral or ethical actions. And for the slideshow, it even gives us some brainstorm about ideas that we can talk about, such as parents, those count as agents, doctors or scientists, governments or legal systems, and even the future child. So now we have perfectly identified the agent, right? So for that one, we can just take these bullet points and perhaps put it into the slideshow. But let's give a different example. So let's say, what is the motivation of the action behind designing babies? And let's say we don't need resource on this, or we've done our research and we basically know why. So this is because So what I've done here is just brain dumped this super tiny paragraph. Normally I would probably write more. As you can see here, this took me about like less than 1 minute to come up with, right? With a little bit more time, you can write a bit more. Okay, so what we have here is just a lot of random information, right? And the thing that teachers hate the most on slideshows is when a student just dumps their paragraph onto the slideshow. So you see a slide and it's just a paragraph of just random information. You can barely read it. First of all, it's so small. Even if you can read it, they're probably gonna skip over the slide before you can finish it, which is just frustrating and annoying. This is why a lot of teachers want bullet points. Everyone wants bullet points for slideshows. Avoid paragraphs like this. This right here is too long as well. So now we're on to step 4. Okay, so in step 4, what we can do here, right, is the main problem that most students face. How do I turn my information, my paragraph of information, into nice, concise, efficient bullet points that gets the point across? I'll show you this right now. So we can just copy this, paste it in here and say, this is my information. And to keep it authentic, you not spend too much, but simply turn this. So what we've done here is give it a prompt to turn my paragraph and extract the key information, and now turn it into bullet points. So it's identified some key things here. Parents seeking advantages for their children, which I talked about. Desire for enhanced traits, strength, intelligence, sociability. I talked about that as well. Aim to boost future success. I talked about that as well. Higher chance of well-paying jobs and hope for longer, healthier lives. Perfectly, now we have made that hard to read in a classroom example into really concise, efficient bullet points, as you can see here. So if we're building a slideshow, now what we can do is just simply copy and paste it into the slide for slide 7, and now we have it. In our mind, we basically have the script for what we are saying behind this, because we literally typed out the paragraph, right? And now we have the bullet points, so we won't be scared in class not knowing what to say. We can just look at the bullet point and we know what we're talking about, and you can expand upon this a little. This might be a bit of a hard skill at first to do, to talk on the spot just on the bullet point, so you can practice this at home if you want to. Once you get really good at this skill, you realize that it becomes so much easier. And we can also see how fast it was to make a slide, right? To go from a paragraph of text into concise, efficient bullet points on a beautiful slideshow. It's easy to format, right? It looks nice, it looks clean. You see how fast that was, right? Step 3 to step 4 literally took us around like 5 to 6 minutes at most for a slideshow. So as you can see, building a slide should not take you longer than like an hour 30. Like 2 hours is really stretching it. Okay, so now we're on to step 5, which is choosing images for a slideshow. I'll be going over this really quickly. So if we look at the slideshow right now and the template that we have and the theme and the color scheme that we have, it's kind of like a dark blue, a purple, and a pink, right? So when we go to images, of course, we want to choose images that are matching the background color. We don't want something that's white, and if you paste it in, it just kind of, you can see it is way different to the slideshow, something like this, right? We don't want something like this right here. So you have to really kind of scour the internet and find images that kind of like match the theme. One other trick is that if you have a color of a different background, you can kind of frame it. You can give it a frame of like a color scheme of a slideshow, and it will look like it fits in more if you have text beside it. Another trick, right, is if you go and you search up designer babies and you want images, You can see a lot of white. This one here in the middle kind of fits the color scheme, right? But if you want transparent images, it's really hard to just find transparent images like this. So what you can do is a little trick is you go to tools, if you go to color and then you do transparent, what you'll get is just images that are purely transparent, PNGs that are just transparent. So if you copy, for example, and then you paste it into the slideshow, you can see that it's transparent and it will fit better into your presentation. Now finally, we're on to the bonus tricks that I sometimes use, really rarely, right? Okay, so bonus tricks that you can do is, if you're not happy with the slideshow and you want to tweak it, but you don't really know how to, where to start, something just feels off, you can screenshot the image of the slideshow and paste it into ChatGPT or DeepSeek or any other AI and ask it, give me some feedback. Am I missing visuals? Am I missing informational content? Can you make it stronger? This is if you really want to fine tune your slideshow, you can do that. And sometimes if a teacher is going to ask you questions about your slideshow to see if you know what you're talking about, you can feed your slideshow information when you build the paragraphs into the AI and ask it to generate questions to quiz you, right? This way you can have this interactive element of you're getting this sort of questions and you have to respond to them. So now you're even more comfortable with the material you're presenting and you really understand it thoroughly if you can answer the questions that ChatGPT impromptu gives you. Thank you so much for listening to this video, and this is my tips and tricks on building a slideshow with using AI and different planning and different tools like that. Thank you so much. If you like this video, feel free to drop a subscribe or like it. Thank you very much.